When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
Well, the stream is starting if I can take the graphic off the screen. What's going on, folks? BJ Rains, Jay Tust with you. I was all ready to get it going, and then I went to us, and it said starting shortly. So, oh, well, we're good.
You didn't lie.
I didn't lie. It was starting shortly. I guess that's true. It's Friday. What's going on, folks? BJ Rains here, Bronco Nation News Live. Jay Tust, sports director at KTVB, joining us for his second weekly appearance. Joins us on Tuesdays, joins us on Fridays as well, and we got 5 Mountain West games to talk about tomorrow, Jay. We got a Andy Avalos presser on Monday. I mean, it's that last weekend, at least for Boise State fans, without having football. But 5 Mountain West games tomorrow to kind of ease us into this thing. I'm pumped up, man. It's Friday. Football season's here. And how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Just thinking that this time next week, we'll probably be doing this show at 8 a.m. Pacific time from Corvallis.
We will have to figure that out. Yes, that's right. I'm not sure what day you're going over, but yeah, I'm going over on Thursday night, and we'll have to figure this out somehow. But yes, we will be in Corvallis for next week's show, or at least in Portland. I think I'm staying in Portland on Thursday night. But yes, we'll be on the road for next week's show, and pretty crazy to think about, man. It felt like a really long off season, but the season's finally here. You're muted, I think. Oh, now I got you. Oh, there you go.
We have reached the end of the road when it comes to the preseason. Even this week, I know that, it's still kind of the preseason, but talking with Kelly Papinga, the new edge coach over there at Boise State, he was saying they kind of actually treated this almost a little bit like a game week when it came to their practice routines and habits. And he feels like, it's going to kind of benefit them next week when they really jump into game week. Oregon State is almost here, man. 7 days away from arriving in Corvallis and 8 days away from kicking off the 2022 football season, one of the more anticipated football seasons, really, in a long, long time for Boise State, because they have a lot to prove.
Tim Stearns, watching from Southern California, says, go Broncos, cheering from Southern California. Get those comments in, those questions in for the show today. We'll try to get those answered. Tim, appreciate that. Thanks for watching. You can do that on Facebook or on YouTube. We cannot take Twitter comments. I don't know why. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can join us that way. And if you are on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button, as my kid would say. We could use all the help we can get from that standpoint. We are broadcasting from the Cutwater Canned Cocktails Studios. Make sure you pick up one of their canned cocktails at a local grocery store, gas station near you. They're very affordable. I think it's like 2 for $7 at the local Jacksons. So get out there, check them out. And the Long Island iced tea is my favorite, but a lot of great ones. Mike Prater has requested the mango margarita for Monday night. Jay Tust is going with the Whiskey Mule. So Monday night is our season preview show. Hope you guys will join us if you are a subscriber. Jay's going to stop by. Winston's going to stop by. We might get to see Jay doing some daddy daycare on Monday night. That would be great to see the little one on the show. Prater and Johnny will join us. So make sure Monday, if you're a subscriber, I'll send you out a link via email during the day on Monday, and then you'll get a private link to join a subscriber-only show on Monday night as all of our co-hosts here at Bronco Nation News get together to preview the season for a subscriber-only show. Again, that'll be Monday night at 8 p.m. If you are going to Corvallis, Jay, by the way, we may have to get you out here for the live shot Friday night. Sky High Brewing in downtown Corvallis. It's going to be a lot of fun. They have a big rooftop patio you can see there, so we're going to hope for good weather and have a lot of fans outside up on the patio. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be Friday night if you're going to Corvallis, and get there on Friday, 5 to 8, downtown Corvallis at Sky High Brewing. We'll try to give away some free shirts, maybe a 1-year subscription. Maybe if you're lucky, we can get Jay Tust to sign an autograph or take a picture with you if he stops by. We'll check on that one. But again, Friday at Sky High Brewing in Corvallis. I did some research, and that looks like the place to be. So that's where we're going to go, Jay.
Just crashing it, right?
Huh?
Just crashing it.
We
right?
are just crashing it. I talked to them. They couldn't guarantee us any. They know we're coming, but there's nothing they can do to help us out. Because they're just, they wouldn't guarantee us spots, but I'm going to get there early. Hopefully other folks will get there early. They open at 4 o'clock. We'll try to reserve a spot somewhere and have some fun. But, it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's just something about that first game. And when it's a big game, nothing against Tennessee Martin, but, if that were the first game, I guess because it's the home opener, you'd be excited about it. It's the season starting. But UCF last year, you go all the way over there. The Florida State game, I'm thinking of recent games. That was a debacle with moving, but it was still pretty sweet going over there to Tallahassee. You got this game. Next year, I think they open at Washington. There's just something about a decent opponent, and especially a road game, I think, too, for fans and stuff to get the season started.
Yeah, I'm stoked to not be traveling across the country. Those are fun trips and all, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to have one located, tucked up here in the Pacific Northwest. We're driving over. It's not that bad of a drive in all honesty, so I'm cool with not having to go 2,200 miles and in 2019's case deal with a hurricane and cover this football team. Get things off a little more casually, I would say. But a good opponent right out of the gate in Oregon State, and with so much going on right now in realignment. I said this before. It's not like this is going to a win gets Boise State into the Pac-12, but by further showing that you can constantly compete with the Pac-12, it certainly can't hurt.
As I mentioned, though, Jay, you have 5 games tomorrow in the Mountain West. Idaho State at UNLV at 1:30 on CBS Sports Network. You got UConn at Utah State at 2 o'clock on FS1. Wyoming at Illinois at 2 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Nevada is at New Mexico State at 8 p.m. on ESPN2. And Vanderbilt is at Hawaii at 8:30 on CBS Sports Network. So you got 3 teams in Nevada, Utah State, and Wyoming that Boise State will play this year. So any of those 5 games intrigue you at all?
It's definitely a chance for the Mountain West to get off to a good start. I don't know if Hawaii can necessarily upset Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt doesn't have the strongest football brand, so maybe the Rainbow Warriors can knock off Vanderbilt, out on the island. Nevada's only a little over a touchdown favorite at New Mexico State. Lots changed at Nevada. So it'll be interesting to see how the Wolfpack come out with a new head coach, a lot of new, guys that have to step into big roles. Like I said, New Mexico State's just not very good usually. So Nevada needs to go to Las Cruces and take care of business. Wyoming at Illinois it offers some intrigue, I guess. Maybe that would be the one game I would pick out of all this, just because it would be interesting to see if Wyoming can do anything to hang with a school in the Big Ten. That's a measuring stick game for the Mountain West Conference. So if they can go find a way to be competitive there in Champaign, that would be a good thing for the Mountain West Conference and for the University of Wyoming.
Josh is asking about the favorite game tomorrow. I guess it's got to be the Nebraska Northwestern game from Dublin, Ireland, right? That's the only conference game, the only game with 2 Power 5 teams. And that's at, I think, 10:30 tomorrow morning. So that's probably the game of the day.
Man, it kicks off that early?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. Because that's like 7 p.m. in Dublin or something with the time change, I think. It's a night game over there. So I think it's 10 or 10:30 in the morning here, I believe.
I don't know if you could pick like a cooler setting. That is incredible. That would be a bucket list game to be at for sure. That's nuts.
Hey, we're going to hear from Kelly Papinga. We're going to hear from George Tarlas as well, but I have to thank a couple of our sponsors, as we always do here at Bronco Nation News. First and foremost, RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. If you're looking for the back patio, your garage, your basement, if you want to spruce it up, 4 times stronger than epoxy. They're concrete coating. They got all different colors and options. You can choose the Boise State option if you'd like, blue and orange. They've done wonders to my back patio with that. So make sure you check them out. They can also paint, the inside of your house, the outside of your house, you name it. commercial, residential, industrial painting options. All your painting needs. Make sure to check out rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, the official bank of Bronco Nation News and the Rains family. You can manage your Idaho Central Credit Union accounts online, anytime, anywhere with eBranch mobile and online banking. You can learn more at iccu.com. Transportation compliance service. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, and whether that's hauling a big rig or just driving one of those Amazon trucks, if you're looking for a new career start, a new fresh start with your career, make sure you check out TCS Transportation Compliance Service. It's right there, local company here in the Treasure Valley, but they're helping folks all around the United States, signing up 50 to 70 new clients a day. So you can be one of them at transcomservice.com. If you're going to the Western Idaho Fair, make sure you go out and check out our friends at the Blue and Orange store. They are out there doing things and having, I'm getting our Papinga sound ready at the same time here, but you look at the Blue and Orange store, and they are going to be out there at the fair going on. So if you're not in Boise, $40 free shipping. Just check them out online at theblueandorangestore.com. You can get free shipping on any order over $40 at theblueandorangestore.com. Kelly Papinga spoke with the media about the edge battle between George Tarlas and Cortez Hogan's. Here is Kelly Papinga.
3 weeks ago, they've been battling it out, and I think, we have some really good depth at the end position. I feel the same way at the stud position. They've done a really good job before I got here recruiting some good players, and I feel like we're going to be able to keep those guys fresh and rotate them. And I think each of them have their strengths, and like I said, the main thing is being able to just keep those guys fresh, because when they're at full speed, they're powerful, they're strong, explosive guys that I think can wreak a lot of havoc here in our conference. I think George has a little bit more explosion, where Cortez, I think, is pretty strong at the point of attack, but so is George. I just think, I would say probably the biggest difference is George's explosiveness off the ball. But other than that, they're pretty similar.
So whoever wins the spot, you envision both of them seeing, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. They're both going to play a lot, and I've told both of them that they're both going to play a ton, and that's how, typically in the past where you have a really good deep defense, you've got to keep those edge players fresh, because those guys got to be explosive off the ball throughout the whole entire game. And so I don't see either of those guys playing more than 60 plays unless we get into a game that we're playing like 100 plays in a game. So.
Well, we're going to talk mostly about George Tarlas because we talked to him yesterday. We're going to hear from him. He's a fascinating individual, but in general, Tarlas, you got Cortez Hogan's there, both battling for playing time on that side. You got Devin Wright, backing up Dimitri Washington right now. And it sounds like those are the four they're going with. See, 3 of the 4 edge rushers, so to speak, are newcomers this year, which is an interesting dynamic. Plus, you got a newcomer and a coach in Kelly Papinga. But what do you make about the edge position this year, Jay?
They absolutely went to work on it. I think that of all the positions on the defense, it's tough to call it the most important, but it's such an important playmaking position for Boise State because that's where they can get pressure on the passer. When they've had elite defenses in the past, they've had a guy like Kamale Correa or Shea McClellan or Jabril Frazier or Curtis Weaver playing that edge position, a guy that's super versatile, can get after the passer, drop into coverage, make game-changing plays. And it feels like they kind of came up a little bit short at that specific spot last year. So as you just said, BJ, they revamped the position. They went out, they hit the transfer portal, they got Devin Wright out of a JC, and they've really rebuilt the depth of that position in a big-time hurry. And on top of all that, they also have Kelly Papinga now, who's coaching and overseeing that position. So a lot of intrigue there. It's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together on game day. But I got to say, BJ, whether we talk about George Tarlas or even a guy like Devin Wright, those guys have had good fall camps from what we've heard. And it's funny because they're kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum where, you have a guy like George Tarlas that has so much experience, right? And he's at kind of a different level of learning, I would say, than a guy like Devin Wright, who's still pretty young, but both are dynamic. And I think both have really bright futures and presence for that matter as well.
Well, I want to hear from George Tarlas, but first, let's hear from Kelly Papinga talking about George Tarlas. And this is, George Tarlas, Jay. I think most people know his story by now, but maybe before we hear about this, what's the Cliff Notes version of the George Tarlas story?
He moved here from Greece. He enrolled at Bora High School. He learned to play football kind of late in life. He initially committed to Weber State out of high school, played there for 5 years, had a really good career for the Wildcats, but with COVID, he earned an extra year of eligibility, entered the transfer portal, and now he says he's playing at his dream school.
That would be a very perfect Cliff Notes version of George Tarlas. We'll talk more about him in a minute, but here's Kelly Papinga on George Tarlas.
A guy that has a ton of experience, that's played really well. Those guys, huge value to our program because you're not now training a guy. So a guy like Devin Wright that's just come in, hasn't played a ton of college football, there's a little bit more development in that. A guy that's really talented, but there's a little bit more development where you got a guy like George that's played a lot of football at a high level and on a team that's won some conference championships, so he knows how to win, knows how to compete. And so you're getting really a full package, but just for 1 year. But we'll take it for right now. Man, he's the first guy in every morning, always coming into my office before team meeting and always checking in, and throughout the day checking in. And he's hungry to learn. And I know he's doing the same thing with Coach Avalos, the same thing with Coach Miley, the same thing with Coach Danielson. So he's going and he's just trying to get all the knowledge that he can get. And I've been really impressed with how fast he's picked up on things, not just the scheme but also the culture. And he's done a great job of just being humble and hungry and knowing that he doesn't know it all. Sometimes a guy that comes in with that experience wants to be the know-it-all, but he's really adjusted to the techniques and fundamentals that we do here. And, there's still a learning curve there. He's still trying to pick up on a couple things here and there, but I've been impressed with just how hungry he's been to just learn and want to be the best he can be. Man, I would just say, in the run game, he's a really dynamic pass rusher, and I think that's probably his strength. I'm not saying that he's weak in the run game, but I would say that's the growth that I've seen the most in, and that he's done the most in fall camp. And so I think as he continues to grow, he's making himself a well-rounded player.
What's his ceiling? Is it the NFL? I mean, you have some background.
Yeah, I never like to talk about that because you just never know, man. But he has the size, he has the strength, he has the explosiveness, he's smart. So I think he has all the qualities that an NFL player has. Now he has to go out there and do it. He has to be productive and he has to do his job within the scheme, and I think if he does that, everything will take care of it.
The legend of George Tarlas, I think, is only growing every time we talk to him, Jay, every time we hear about him. You heard about him, and you're going to hear him talk about his schedule in a second, but he's the first guy there in the morning at 5:30. He goes to bed at 9 o'clock. He does meditation. The guy does so much. It's pretty unbelievable when we heard him talk. And I was writing my story about him for BroncoNationNews.com, and I literally said at the beginning of my story, it's hard to pick out the best thing he said. He talked for 11 minutes and 22 seconds, and it was all impressive, I thought. I mentioned getting there early, the meditation or the creative thinking, as he calls it, the podcast, the Huberman Lab podcast with Dr. Andrew Huberman that he listens to, how much this means to him. There's just so much with George Tarlas, but I think he's going to quickly become a fan favorite, Jay. He's got the Greek accent, and he's, seems like a great person. And to this point, everything we've heard, leading the team in sacks this fall, he's got a chance to be an impact player as well. You're muted, Jay.
I don't think he's got a chance. I think he will be an impact player. By the way, sorry about the mute button. I'm running back and forth. It's daddy daycare this morning. You said Monday. We're playing it this morning. So, anyways, I think that he will be an impact player on this defense from everything that we've heard and everything that we know. Physically, mentally, he is in a great spot heading into this season. And I remind you, he has a lot of maturity that he brings with him. He's married. He's cultured. He is in his 6th year of college because, like I said, this is his COVID year. This is his additional year of eligibility, right? And so he is just learning at a different level, tweaking different things that underclassmen probably aren't even aware of. But it's pretty cool to see him trying to get in tune with his mind, which will ultimately bring out the best with his body.
Well, let's hear from George, but first, thank a couple of our sponsors. Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out. They got the fall kickoff sale going on. I'm a recent customer of Lithia Ford, purchased a new F-150 there, and could not be happier with it. So make sure you check out Lithia Ford Boise. And if you're looking to sell your used vehicle, they will buy it from you. They'll make you a cash offer on the spot, even if you don't buy from them. So if you're just looking to sell your car, take it to Lithia Ford Boise, and they'll give you a cash offer on the spot. You can get more information online, lithiafordboise.com. Ridley's Family Markets, we appreciate them. Shop Ridley's.com. 13 Idaho locations. Find one near you online. You frequent that Cuno location often. The at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery. Make sure you check out Ridley's Family Markets. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, no house is too small or too large for Matt Bauscher. Make sure you check them out, BauscherRealEstate.com. United Commercial Insurance, 44 states around the country. They can write business policy insurance. If you own a business or do the insurance for the business, make sure you check them out, 229-8222. A quick call could save you hundreds of dollars on your business insurance. And our good friends at Boise Dentistry Co. as well. Check them out. Locations across the Treasure Valley. Full family dentistry. If you're looking for a new spot for your kids, your grandma, your aunt, uncle, whoever, they can help out the whole family, and they do a great job there. All the newest technology. Dr. Meinert and his staff do an awesome job. So get more information. Find a location near you at BoiseDentistryCo.com. Let's hear from George Tarlas, Boise State's defensive end, edge rusher, on his time with the Broncos so far.
It's been awesome. You know, it's competition after competition. Every day it's so much hard work that you have to put in and stay consistent with it, and the next day you get an opportunity to get better at it, and that's what I try to do every day, starting in the spring, right? Stacking my days and trying to learn what I didn't know before, all these little details. It's so crucial. You know, fall camp, you go against your ones like O-line, OJ, you have K, right? So it's crucial to learn and adapt as you go through fall camp. So it's been great so far. I've changed for the better. That's all I know, right? It's been great because mainly, like I said earlier, there's so many details in the game that I never got to really learn going from high school straight to college, right? Only 2 years of experience, those little things, 6 inches of a step, right? Like I didn't know those things. And now we focus so much on those things that make me a better athlete, a better defensive end. Physically, I've been working out, as you can see. You know, I've been trying to stay strong and take care of my body, flexible and mobility in the mornings. Mentally, I've been getting into cognitive, you know, what's the word? Meditation. Trying to focus on meditation, engage with my brain, control, you know, concentrate. So it's been, like I said, change for the better. It's only up from here. I'm excited. It means a lot, you know. That was my first day I came out of Greece, and I could never, I could imagine myself out of high school playing for the Broncos, but it didn't happen that way. But now it's all starting, it was all meant to happen for a reason, right? It's just coming together, and I got lucky with the coaches we have, the competition we have, and it's just starting to connect the dots, and it all makes sense. It was meant to happen. So it's more than enough that I can ask for.
Now, he did, Jay, start his career at Caldwell High School, correct? There was somebody on here that actually said they played with him at Caldwell. He goes to Bora and then goes on to Weber State, and now he's back. And I don't know what, he kind of joked about, I'm working out or whatever. Look at me. But he is a big, chiseled man. I don't know what he looked like in high school, but, even from the time that he got here in January or whatever it was, he looks like he's really taking care of his body, and he looks like he would not be a guy an offensive tackle would want to have to line up and try to block.
Well, this is like this is part of his story, right? Like he felt like he maximized what he could get out of Weber State. Like he loved his time at Weber State. He's very thankful for his time at Weber State, but he wanted to see if he could push himself to another level as a football player. And I remember when we talked to him, during signing day, all the way back in February, BJ, he had only been on campus for a couple of weeks, and he was just like, man, I wish that I actually was here earlier, because he just felt like he was getting so much more out of each day. Like he was developing as a football player. And yesterday he gave us definitely a clear window into what all of that means. Talking about getting mentally right and how he's physically benefited from it, and the fact that he is the first guy in the building, first player in the building, I should say, each and every day. And that's something that Kelly Papinga said, and a number of other people have mentioned that too. So it's cool to see his dedication. And I got to say, BJ, like, don't think like it's just football for him. Like I mentioned, he's married. He has a job. I don't know how much he's working right now necessarily, but he's also, despite the fact he's a sixth-year senior, he's taking 14 credits this year, I believe he said. So he's balancing a lot there, and he's learning to do it all. It seems like effortlessly, but it's definitely a focal point of his development, how to handle all that bring out the best in himself and untap his true ability.
Is Dimitri Washington Greek also?
He actually kind of is, yeah. Yep.
I guess I didn't put that connection together. JT says both starting edge guys are Greek. Time for a nickname. And then he said, how about the Mediterranean Mayhem?
Ooh. Hey, JT. I got the same initials as your first name. And clearly I was going to bring this up with you today, BJ, because I don't think we can call him the Greek freak. And the only we got to do better than that, man. Like it is kind of a
there is it's an easy out. Yep.
There is a Greek freak now in Giannis, and you're not like to think that you could outdo what he's done in the NBA. Like, no offense, it's like I don't know how realistic that is. So he kind of has owned that nickname. And I know there are people before him that had that nickname, but he is the Greek freak when I think of that nickname, right? So I kind of like Mediterranean Mayhem. Like that's not bad. A little alliteration there. We got to do better than the Greek freak, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that, JT. That's a nice point there. We talked about his crazy schedule, which gets him in the right frame of mind and gets his day started off right. Here is George Tarlas talking about that daily schedule.
It used to be a goal, but now it's just part of the routine. It's a standard. You just wake up in the morning. I have to wake up my wife too, because I can't be late. So she's always there for me, and she gives me a ride in the morning. I'm here early, and I get in to start my day. I put my music in the speakers in the locker room just to wake up. Sometimes I play jazz music in the morning to just go with the flow, be grateful, remind myself what I'm grateful for. After that, I start my day with some mobility stretches and things like that for 30 minutes. I get in the hot tub, cold tub, hot tub, and finish with a quick dip in the cold tub to get my own nervous systems and, just to wake up. And after that, I have about 30 to 45 minutes to watch film before practice, before meetings. So I go upstairs, have my coffee with some hazelnut creamery in there, and I'm locked in after that.
What time does your alarm go off? What time do you enter the building?
I enter the building by 5:30 or so. So my alarm goes off at 5, trying not to rush myself in the morning, just wake up peacefully, and like I said, going back to meditation, focus on those things, and I'm here by 5:30 tops, maybe 5:45.
Pretty crazy, Jay. That sounds like your morning routine, putting on jazz music, the hazelnut creamery, getting going around 5 in the morning, right?
Vanilla. I'm a vanilla.
Oh, that's the difference. Okay.
Nothing on hazelnut. When he started listing that off, if he didn't say, and then I have my coffee with my hazelnut creamer, you could have assumed like by the time he was done doing his routine, it was like 2 in the afternoon, right? And then he tells you, oh, and then I have my hazelnut creamer with my coffee, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's still like 7 or 8 a.m.
It's still dark outside, and then he goes up and he has 45 minutes to watch film before the rest of the players even show up for the team meeting.
Yeah, it's stuff like this that you go back and you're like, if this guy doesn't succeed, you can't say that he didn't do everything he possibly could to put himself in the best position possible. And so I can't help but give a guy like this the benefit of the doubt that he is going to be a game changer on this defense for Boise State. And it all starts in 8 days, man.
I want to hear another quote from him about his meditation. I want to hear from Coach Papinga about the special teams, but I know you got a lot going on, Jay. You have any final thoughts, and we'll let you sneak out of here a little early and I can finish up the show, but any final thoughts just on the 4 players we talked to yesterday, Coach Papinga, or any words of wisdom you want to give Bronco Nation here?
Jackson Cravens is a super, super humble dude. He's all about setting his teammates up for success. He plays that nose tackle position, which oftentimes goes kind of unglorified, if you will, because you eat up double teams while all the other dudes around you make those big game-changing plays. Excited to see what Latrell Caples can bring to the table this year, too, for this Boise State football team. I feel like we focused on a lot of names so far this season. BJ, if I'm recalling this off the top of my head, I think there are only 4 wide receivers that have a reception in the blue and orange. So, like, Davis Cutter had receptions at Portland State, but, like, when we talk about guys with catches wearing the blue and orange, there are 4 of them, right? Latrell Caples is the only underclassman that has a catch, and he has 4 career catches, right? So he at some point in time, it feels like he's going to work his way into this equation on offense some way, somehow, and it'll be cool to see how he does it. So yeah, I'm gonna save some bold predictions for the Monday show. Okay.
Please do. Please do. And I just thought about this. I was going to have you and Winston go together, but I think it'd be better to switch it. I might have you. How about you and Johnny? You want to come on with Johnny instead?
I mean, if you want to see me and Johnny go at it, like best friends.
Prater and Johnny go to talk all day together. They should mix it up. So I was thinking you can have your choice, I guess, of Prater or Johnny, but I want to mix it up a little bit. I thought maybe Prater and Winston could go to.
Absolutely Prater. Just kidding, Johnny. Just kidding.
Well, John, I know Johnny's listening. I've gotten a few texts during the show. He doesn't,
he's probably up working, crushing.
We need to send him about 50. Let's send him about 50 texts during the show when he's trying to pay attention to what Prater's saying and talk. He's getting constant texts from us. Then he'll know what the feeling is like. But
I feel jealous. I didn't even get one text from him.
We're going to hear some more. Actually, his quote was this: "That sounds like it's going to be badass for the Monday show," is what he said. So. He's excited about it, I guess. But, Jay, appreciate it. Have a good weekend, the final weekend for a long time where we're not going to be covering a Boise State football game. And we will see you Monday for Andy Avalos, and then see you around 8 o'clock on Monday night.
Sounds good, bud.
There he is, Jay Tust, KTVB sports director, does a great job. Let's hear some more from George Tarlas. We're going to keep this thing going a little bit. We can take your questions, your comments. We got George Tarlas. We got Kelly Papinga on the special teams. So we'll keep it going for a little while longer, and you can get your questions, your comments in as well. But here's George Tarlas. The meditation is something he was talking about as well. He's big into the meditation, and he's big into visualizing a game before it happens and how big that is for him. And I thought it was a fascinating quote that I wanted to make sure we got to, even if Jay had to go. But this is George Tarlas talking about his meditation process and how it helps him do better in a game.
And I try not to do it at night because my adrenaline levels go through the roof. Let me tell you, I just get my heartbeat going. I'm like, oh, I'm about to make a sack, right? I'm thinking about it. My heart's going, oh. And then I can't sleep. So during the night, I try to relax, and just when I get to that high level of adrenaline, I'm trying to bring it down, focus back on my breath. But before the game, starting in the morning, that's when I start focusing on controlling my adrenaline and being in control of my own emotions. So when the game comes, I can just go back to it and I see it again.
And so how does that extra mental preparation, you visualize the game, you see what happens before it does. When you hop on the field, how does that, change?
Oh, you have no fear. You know what's coming. It's like they tell you to plan your day the night before. You're like, oh, I wake up, I might be tired in the morning, but I'll be okay. I'll go drink a glass of water and I'll wake up. So when that happens in the game and you're like, oh, there's going to be a pass on 3rd and 2 on the 30-yard line for whatever reason. You're like, okay, I've seen this, I expect it. Boom. And you react way much faster than you would otherwise. Yeah, so my whole concept is, for my personal development, was to stop thinking as much, because I was trying to learn the game more and more and more. So when game time comes, I've put my brain through those situations. So I don't have to think anymore. I just go with the first instinct. I see if I'm ahead of him, I'm going to beat him off the edge. If I'm not ahead of him, bull rush, right? And etc. So I was getting into, he's a scientist. He has his own podcast, Huberman Lab, and he talks about your nervous system and how your body works pretty much. And I was so fascinated with how your body works and how you could be in control of all those things, right? Your brain, your nervous system, so your reaction. And my plan was to be able to develop myself in that level where I'm at my best of controlling my own body. Because at the end of the day, you control what you can control, and that's yourself. And if you control your entire self, you're in a better spot than somebody that's lost in the crowd. You know what I mean? So my personal development on that would be a major impact, definitely.
You don't hear many college kids saying that, many college athletes saying stuff like that, do you? I mean, when was the last time you ever heard a college student talking about that much meditating and visualizing the play before it happens and being ready and all this? I mean, it's just fascinating stuff. The whole interview with George Tarlas is up on our YouTube page. It's one of our most viewed YouTube videos that we've had in a long time. So make sure you check that out if you want to watch the whole 11-minute, 22-second interview. I will also have a story going up on George Tarlas here shortly after the show ends. So make sure you check that out as well. As I mentioned on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. If you're watching on YouTube right now, just take a quick second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. There's some sort of bell you can press too, and that'll tell you when we go live next time. So that all helps us, and we are very appreciative of that as we try to build the YouTube channel here moving forward. Let's hear from Kelly Poppinga. Kelly Poppinga, he's the edge coach, but he's also the special teams coach. And obviously special teams is a big thing for Boise State this year, that they've got, 2 new coaches running special teams with Kelly Poppinga and Keith Bonifa. And obviously you've got the punter battle with Will Farron and James Ferguson Reynolds. You got, Jonah Dalmas kind of solidified a kicker, but a lot of new options at the return game as well with no Khalil Shakir. So who's in the mix for the return game? And one name you're going to hear that I think is a very intriguing option is Mr. Ashton Jeanty. So here is Kelly Poppinga, Boise State special teams coach or co-coach, talking about special teams and how that's looking.
I feel great. I think that there's a battle still going on at every position right there. You got Cobbs that has done it before, and Jeanty, and you got Cole Wright, and you got Caden Dudley. Like, there's a lot of guys that are back there for the kick return thing. So still trying to figure out who that guy will be, but I feel comfortable with all those guys. And then a punt returner, that's more of KB's deal, that he's over that. But same thing. I think there's a lot of guys there that are competing for it, and still kind of waiting to see how things pan out over the next week.
What does Jeanty provide there at kick return? You're just being a true freshman, but it seems like he's a guy you guys are trying to find ways to get on.
Yeah, we're just trying to get more touches for that guy, because he's explosive, he's fast, he's big, he's hard to tackle, and he's going to hit things fast. And so that's what I've always found with a kick returner, is you need a guy that's going to hit it and is not going to shy away from contact. And knowing that there's a chance that there's a kickoff guy that might come free, there might be a big hit opportunity right there. I always tell them they got to have blind faith. Trust their blocking scheme, and running backs are used to that more than receivers, of running in tight holes. And so that's why we like to make sure that, try to typically get running backs on there.
I don't know if this is part of your responsibility, but kickoff and punt, any updates?
Yeah, so Coach KB's over kickoff, but, with the punt team, I help out with that. Really, I shouldn't say over. Coach KB and we work and collaborate together.
Sure.
I feel really comfortable. I should say we feel really comfortable with the punt team, and there's a really good competition going on right there at punt. Yeah, both of them are battling back and forth, and and I would say the same thing at long snapper as well. There's a battle going on there, and feel pretty good with the depth around it. Feel like that team has a lot of really good talent on it, offensively and defensively, and feel like that could be one of the strengths of our team, is our punt team.
Long snapper is still Hutton and Grant?
Yes.
There is Kelly Poppinga on the special teams, and man, the legend of Ashton Jeanty continues to grow, and he hasn't played a game yet. You're not going to find many coaches or players that don't have a lot of positive things to say about Ashton Jeanty. I think he's one of the more intriguing players on this entire roster, is what Ashton Jeanty is going to bring to the table here in 2022. A true freshman, and we continue to hear his name pop up. And man, if you get that guy back in the kick return game, punt return game, that could be pretty intriguing to see a guy like that out there come this season opener on September 3rd against Oregon State. A couple of reminders. Thanks again to Cutwater Canned Cocktails. Hey, we're going to do our live show on Monday at 8 o'clock, and anybody that has a Cutwater Canned Cocktail with them during the show, you can tweet me the picture of you having a Cutwater Canned Cocktail during our subscriber-only show on Monday. And if you do, we'll throw your name into a little hat, and at the end of the show, we'll pick a name for a prize, either a James gift card or a round of golf or something. So get a Cutwater Canned Cocktail on Monday. Watch the show with us Monday night if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, you can still subscribe, and we'll send you the link on Monday. You're going to get a private email if you're a subscriber with a link to watch the show. And again, it's going to be Jay Tust, Winston Venable, Mike Prater, John Mallory. It's going to be a lot of fun on Monday night, but you have to be a paying subscriber to watch our season preview show. So it's going to be a private link on YouTube. And so check that out, 8 p.m. Monday. Make sure you don't miss it. Hey, if you're going to Corvallis, don't miss this either. Friday, September 2nd. It says 5 to 8, but it's actually going to be 4 to 8. We'll be there around 4 o'clock. Sky High Brewing in Corvallis. 4 o'clock is when they open. If you're able to come early and help save some seats with us, that would be awesome. Because they're going to be filling up fast. And so if you try to come at 7 o'clock, you may be in trouble to get a spot, and you may have to be on a wait list. So the earlier you can come, the better. Sky High Brewing will be there again 4 to 8 next Friday, a week from today, the night before the Oregon State game. If you're going to help, we'd love to have you help kick off the season with us. So hopefully you've enjoyed the first 2 episodes of the Winston Venable Show. We're going to continue that every Wednesday. We got some other cool announcements coming as well. There's a big announcement next Wednesday. don't miss the Winston Venables show next Wednesday of game week. We have another cool announcement about another addition to the Bronco Nation News team. They will pop on with Winston and I to announce the show. So I'm really looking forward to that. So don't go anywhere for Bronco Nation News. And that'll be on Wednesday, another edition with Winston Venables. So again, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, help us out, subscribe on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it if you can do that. It would be awesome. And we appreciate everybody for watching all the videos and subscribing on YouTube and helping us out. If you're looking for a pizza this weekend, Westside Pizza, give them a try. BNN25 is the promo code. Go to westsidepizza.com, put in that promo code BNN25, and you get 25% off your entire order at westsidepizza.com. $10 for a large carryout pizza becomes $7.50 with the promo code. You can get 2 large pizzas, feed the family for $15 at Westside Pizza. So make sure that you check them out. Don't forget about Timberstone Golf Course as well. Playtimberstone.com. You can book that tee time. They're working maybe with rowpaint.com. I got them connected on a project potentially out at Timberstone with rowpaint.com. So love to see subscriber or sponsors helping sponsors. So get out there to Timberstone and Caldwell. Weather's going to start to cool down here. It's going to be great weather to go play some golf at Timberstone, and you will not be disappointed if you do that at Timberstone Golf Course. Again, don't forget the Blue and Orange store is out at the Idaho Fair, the Western Idaho Fair this week as well. I think it ends tomorrow night, right? Is tomorrow night the last night, or it's going on this week? So you can go out there and see our friends at the Blue and Orange store as well. We'll see if we have any other comments on here that I missed. Ralph Fox is projecting 9-3. Tim says, what's the main focus besides winning? That's a good question, Tim. I would say there's a lot of focuses, and winning is the biggest one. But I think that Andy Avalos has really been trying to get the culture back, getting that blue-collar mentality back. And I think it's got to be winning the Mountain West, too. I mean, not just winning, it's winning the Mountain West. You got to, they haven't won this conference in a couple of years. So I think winning a conference championship is a big deal. Jay's asking if the Oregon State playing with a chip on their shoulder, or are they already looking over their shoulder because of USC and UCLA news? Usually in these kind of games, it's Boise State that has the chip on their shoulder, not the other way around. So I think Oregon State's better than people are giving them credit for. I know they were a mid-level Pac-12 team last year, but I think they were picked 5th this year. 5th or 6th. And so, a mid-level Pac-12 team is usually, about as good as the top Mountain West team. So I think this is going to be a very intriguing game. And it's just such a big swing game to kick off the season, whether you win it and potentially get to 4-0 and get in the top 25 and get the excitement going, or if you lose it, then you're kind of have the questions creep back in about, this team and going 7-5 last year. And how do you respond from that? So a lot on the line, I think, in that first game. No doubt about it. Hey, appreciate everybody for checking us out today. That'll do it for today's show. Make sure, again, that you please follow us, like us, subscribe on our social media channels, including YouTube. We've got all the interviews from yesterday with Kelly Papinga, with George Tarlas, some other guys we talked to. Latrell Caples is up there. We talked to Latrell Caples yesterday. Who else did we talk to? Kurt Raftal, the tight end, and Jackson Cravens. We had 4 player interviews yesterday, so that's all up there at the YouTube channel. We covered the soccer game yesterday. Jaden Finch, our intern, and I were out at the soccer game. They lost 2-1 to Arizona State, but we've got a story up on the site about the women's soccer team and how Coach Jim Thomas is very encouraged about the team despite the close loss to Arizona State. So good things, it looks like, for the soccer team. Coach Jim Thomas, you can read his comments, read the story from Jaden up on BroncoNationNews.com, and I'll have a story on George Tarlas going up in about an hour or so. I'm just finishing that up after the show here, and we'll post that as well. So you'll see George Tarlas. Anyone tailgating pregame? Yeah, there's a big Boise State official tailgate. It's like $30, but you get food included in that. That's what the Alumni Association, the BA, I think, check that out. Or I'm sure there'll be a lot of Boise State fans out there as well, Nate, that we can connect you with next week to find out where people are going to be tailgating at for the game as well. So, and again, don't forget Friday, Sky High Brewing. We'll see you there for that. And then we'll see you Monday night for the subscriber-only exclusive show. But John Mallory will join me Monday first, and we'll kick off game week Monday. And then programming note, 1 p.m. we will broadcast live Andy Avalos, Spencer Danielson, and Tim Plow's interviews with the media. We will stream that live on the channels of Bronco Nation News, and that will be again at 1 o'clock on Monday. 1 o'clock on Monday for that. And then, but before that at 9 a.m., John Mallory and I will kick it all off. and get game week going in style. So appreciate you. Full Monday coming up. So take a breather, enjoy the weekend, watch the 5 Mountain West games this weekend. Relaxing, not having to be nervous about waiting for the Boise State kickoff. So it's going to be a fun weekend, and we will kick it off for real here in about a week. So appreciate it. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.